Happy Monday, Jasmine. How you doing today?
Good. Happy Monday.
Good. Let me fix my light here. Get rid of the shadow. Perfect. So, how was your weekend?
It was good. It's really finally not winter feeling, so that's joyful.
Same
That
here.
gives me
Same
hope.
here. The birds are chirping today, so I'm happy to hear them chirp.
And we get, yeah, me too. And we gave each other homework actually last Thursday.
Yeah, we did.
So
We did.
we came up with a whole idea that we were going to share today. Do you want to introduce it or?
And I think you should introduce it today.
All right. So we were talking about the idea that while we're building this larger piece of our business, both of us are doing that. That on the side, we wanted to have something that was small that we could monetize passively in the background and build quite a bit of money that way as well. And over the course of half an hour, we came up with this title to explain what it is, which is Mini for Millions. So we're looking for that mini offer that will give us millions in sales over a year or two, right? And it's something
Correct.
that we have seen happen successfully with a lot of creators, a lot of business owners online. And I always use Justin Welsh. I think because he frustrates me, to be honest. So I'm always, oh, this guy makes me crazy. But I need him to take a new photo. There's only one photo of that man.
I know.
Weird. It makes me insane. But he has successfully made like $4 million on a $99 mini course about LinkedIn and then used that course to build his LinkedIn. So he created this really nice circle, little
Yep.
ecosystem. And that's what we have challenged each other to do, actually.
And it's so funny. After our talk last week, I realized that a lot of people, the majority of people, need simple answers to a simple question.
Yeah.
And I like to complicate things and delve too deep into certain things and analytics and all the stuff that in the beginning doesn't really matter. It frightens people.
It,
It makes
that's,
people who are on the fence like, you know what, I'm not that smart, which they are, but they just don't think they are,
yeah.
or I don't have the time to do this. And I really think messaging is a big thing too. Letting them know, listen, what you're purchasing from me or you, whoever, won't make you fail. We don't want you to fail. We want you to succeed.
Hmm.
And I think creating, for me personally, my offer is be more about messaging than the actual offer. And that would be the gateway drug into the bigger picture.
Hmm.
The gate.
So you said you were researching social media over the weekend. So what were your takeaways? I'm sorry, for me as somebody who's in social media, it's fascinating to hear somebody else
What I
researching
realize is that
new.
a lot of people will go on social media and talk about so many different things, right?
Yeah.
So many different things, different. And the problem with that is that if you're catching someone on something, bottom line, I've realized that just say the same thing over and over and over again. Get them into your funnel. We want to call it system. Let them buy the small offer, and then you can give them more. You have to repeat someone over and over again. Because if one day I'm talking about X, and next day I'm talking about Y, and then I'm going to B and C, they'll get lost.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
if I beat them over the head with one thing, like for me, it would be anyone can become a travel content creator very simply. Get this course, do these 5 things, and you will become a travel content creator. Period. That's it. Full stop. Now, what that means is basically, I'm not going to tell you this is a 14-day course that would teach you from A to Z. Like, no, people just want to get A to B right now. And
So I wonder though if your messaging instead of buy this course to do these 5 things, though I know you're just talking off the cuff. But I almost wonder if the messaging is do these 5 things and I'm going to help you I'm going to walk you through them. And the
yeah,
course just happens to be how you're doing it.
absolutely. Again, that's the same thing, but I guess I said it
Yeah.
backwards. But yeah,
I didn't do that for your sake, just for
yeah,
anybody listening to tighten up what that moment is, I think.
yeah. And I really want, and I read an article, this is years ago, I think in Fortune or Forbes, to scale a business to do unscalable things.
Mm,
So basically, as you said, I'll walk people through them. I'll spend 24 hours a day on people for right now to
yeah.
grow, to launch, to educate, for myself to learn as well. And then once you do that, you can automate everything. Have AI agents onboard people. the same way I would onboard someone personally. Let's say you bought the course. Hey, Jasmine, thanks for buying. I send you in a text message. Thank you so much for purchasing the course. Click here if you're ready to be onboarded. Hit the button. The AI bot will walk you through everything.
That's
And
snazzy. You're good at the AI implementation
then
ideas.
we'll say, hey, by the way, we're having a meeting on Thursday. Want to be invited? Oh, yes. Here the calendar invite to the calendar.
Very nice.
You're logged in. And that's, I think, I just want to give people victories. I see far too many of these courses that talk to them for 14, 25 hours. And the retention on that is nil.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but I also see the opposite where the course is like 30 minutes or an hour and basically a mini course, but it doesn't give them enough information that you can actually do anything. I could have gotten
Correct.
all that information on YouTube University for free.
Yeah.
And that's one of my frustrations is the too hands off, too vague, not enough to actually accomplish anything with.
Yeah. And then after your that half hour, 40 minutes, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You have nothing but a podcast basically you listen to.
Yeah. So when it comes to mini offer for millions, it's about finding that balance, I think, a little bit too. Though
Yeah.
I've always said every offer should be $1 million offer. You should always deliver something that is way above what expectations are and above what your competition is doing.
And I'm going to shorten my offer, tighten it up real tight,
Yeah.
and say basically, this is for the people who have never traveled, who would love to travel one day and become a travel content creator. You can still do this. You can still do it while looking through this course. You can still do that.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, a lot of people say I've never traveled, but you can go online and research Thailand. You can research Thailand for 2 days and know more than the person who's bought the ticket.
Yeah. I
Now,
think that's where the overwhelm comes in. And I know I talk about this a lot with business, how people get overwhelmed. And so they end
hmm
up struggling to get anything done. But I
hmm
almost think that's how life is. We get overwhelmed and then we just don't know where to start or how to
nope.
take action.
Correct.
And it really holds us back a lot. So, any of us that have these offers that can really simplify and take out that overwhelm and that confusion, I think that's a huge gift to the world.
Yeah, it's a faster sell. It's a
Yes.
faster sell, which you can sell more and more. And I really want to do this A for myself, B to get more students involved in my ecosystem, and just go. So, how about you? What are your plans for the minute to millions?
We went over mine a little bit while we were talking on Thursday. What I'm gonna end up doing is doing a social media starter kit. So it's if you were buying it in a box and you ordered a
Mm-hmm.
box of something, and this would be everything you need. So it's the first 30 posts, it's the actual templates that you need for those 30
Mm-hmm.
posts, for the types of content that I do specifically. It's gonna be your checklist, it's gonna be a half hour training on how social media works, the way that I do it, which is much more innovative than most people. So it's going to have all the pieces for 30 days of success. And I'll be real, I think some people will be able to use that for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
Other people will be like, okay, now I get it. I'm ready to really make some real money. I'm going to hop into Elevate University. And those are my people for Elevate anyway. It's next level action takers, right?
100%. And as we discussed, our goal, both our goals, is really to have the monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
To turn a person to purchase something for $200 into a lifetime person, giving us money, being educated, transforming more and more every single day.
Yes, it's monthly revenue as far as how we're delivering versus a one time, which is, I think, a shift. But but the goal of that, I think, is the same for both of us. Is we really want to see people transformed by what
Yeah.
we offer, right? And this is a better way to transform them because we're not doing we're going to take you up to the launch line and then leave you on your own. A lot of people will. We're going to stay with you after you launch and have you keep building.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
And also, you can network, which I've networked within Elevate University, and I love it.
Yeah.
I look forward to my networking, even though we're in totally different industries, some of us. It's great to just chat
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're all want the same thing. We want to increase our revenue and help more people.
That was something I deeply needed when I started out that didn't exist without paying an obscene amount of money, which is
Right.
it's so lonely to be an entrepreneur. It's lonely to be the boss of a company. It's why there's all these luncheons for CEOs and Chamber of Commerce because you cannot find that kind of camaraderie with your employees. You
Right.
just can't. You have to hire them and fire them and discipline them. And you're the top visionary.
Right.
It's not the same. So you end up feeling very alone in that process. And so to be able to create an environment where we can all connect on drop in office hours has been really lovely. Lovely, lovely.
When you said that last statement, I'll tell you a quick story. I produced a fashion show in Curacao a bunch of years ago. And we had a bunch of people. A lot of my friends were there. A lot of models were there. And every night we had parties, big parties every night. And they had dinners and everything else. I really couldn't participate. I want them to have the free space to complain about the event, this, that, or the other, which is fine. It's just normal. We all do that.
Yeah.
And so I had to sit in my room pretty much or eat by myself to give them that freedom to enjoy their time. And so back to you saying, owning a business is a lonely business, you
Yeah,
know.
it is. And then you don't have anyone to bounce ideas or thoughts or, hey, how crazy is this? Or is this something you guys can also wrap your head around? Because that's the other thing is people who are employees are often employee mindset. They're very
Hmm.
much, that's like a very different kind of mindset versus someone who's always innovating, which is what an entrepreneur or business owner is always doing. We're always looking at the next thing, the new thing. And I think that's not necessarily somebody you're going to find within your company. So you have to network in a way that allows you to find other people that can do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest complaints I hear from people is my friends and family don't support my business. And I always push back with they do, they just can't see it. They'll support it once you show them what it is, but they can't see it until you build it. Then they'll support you. And everyone goes, they supported me once I was successful. But yeah, because before that, they didn't know what you were talking about. They don't have any vision for it.
No. And that's their prerogative. There's if they're a W-2 employee or whatever else, their minds cannot go to something that's not in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything we do, especially on if you do something hard, like I'm buying these lamps, I'm selling these lamps. People kind of understand that.
Sure.
Buy cheap lamps, sell for more money. But
Yeah.
people don't understand a lot of the digital space because you can't touch it, you can't feel it. And I told someone last night on the phone, I said, "Do you understand right now with social media, if you can grab an audience, keep them, you can do anything you want. You can make all the money you want for no money." And what's that gentleman's name you just mentioned off of LinkedIn?
Oh no, how did I forget his name? Justin
Yeah.
Welsh.
Yeah. He's, I see him on LinkedIn every single day, the same
Mhm.
post, the exact same post, right?
Exact
It's the
same.
exact same thing. And I suppose people click on it. I'm not sure where else he gets his leads from, but it's just like he's done it just by just posting every single day. He probably picked up a few of the LinkedIn, what are those things called, groups where everyone likes your
Yeah, yeah.
post
The
to kind of
pods,
push it,
LinkedIn pod.
and it's just amazing. So I'm excited to really launch my mini to millions, and I want to
Hmm.
keep I'm gonna keep it so simple. I'm targeting a specific person for this package, and it's like the person who is scared, who has interest but doesn't know where to start.
Hmm.
My audience right now, I think I can pick up a lot more people because they just like, oh, for simple, this is easy. I'll do
Hmm.
that. And just hit them in the head. Simple, easy, transforming. Simple, easy, transforming. We'll take you through it.
Yeah, I like that. I like the highly targeted audience. And that's a mistake that we talk about a lot in the marketing world is that people want to sell to everybody, but you actually
Hmm.
will sell to more people if you are more targeted in who you're selling to. Because there's hundreds of thousands, there's millions of people who need what you need, even when you're really niched down.
Hmm.
I think that word is overused. But when you try to sell to everybody, it doesn't fit anybody because it's
No.
too big into why would I buy this? I don't really understand what it is
Hmm.
versus getting really specific. So that sounds like I'm really excited to see it. What do you think your timeline is on launch?
This week. I'm gonna launch this week. I'm gonna start creating posts this week. I
Nice.
also realized something after last week's tariff issues and everything else that we are in a global world.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, after I get up off this podcast today, I'm going to go upstairs actually and start creating two more social accounts for international, one EU and one Asia, because I want to start. I'm using VPN to post on those
I was
accounts.
going to ask if you were going to use a VPN. Yeah.
Yes, they say you should, if you do that and put all the keywords that location, it should show in that location. Because I want a global audience. And with AI, you can create something in Mandarin easily and then post it on the thing, and oh, there it is. And next thing you're in China and trying to sell your course and use a WeChat to take the payments, you know.
Yeah.
But
Though
we
I
don't
tell
think about
you,
that.
I hate creating content in another language because unless it's a language that I like German and French and Italian and a
Mhm.
little bit of Spanish, I can get around. But if it's a language I don't know at all, I'm always really nervous putting it out there because I
I,
can't
I,
check it.
I am too, but I really believe that if you look at what they've done with these software, the SaaS programs, it'll get you there. Is
That's
it
true.
perfect? I'm sure it's not. But if I can reach a bigger audience in Europe that says, "Oh wow, I want this course," I've never seen something like this here, Denmark or Holland or Thailand, and because right now we're just targeting our little small world of the U.S., whereas maybe our audience is somewhere else. It's not being bombarded with people like us.
Yeah. Actually, can we talk about what has been happening on TikTok this weekend
Sure.
with how just speaking of reaching a different market, that one of the responses that we're seeing from manufacturers in China is they're just jumping the fence and they're saying, hey, we make these luxury bags, we'll make you one for a
Hmm.
fraction of the price and let us show
Hmm.
you how we do it. And they're hitting all these places in the US where we would spend $1,500. I wouldn't, but people would spend $1,500 on a handbag. You can get it for $150 from directly from the manufacturer. It just won't have the logo at the end. I've been fascinated by how that has been their response to these really high this tariff war.
And did you see a couple things? Did you see the fact that you can go now on a 10-day visa straight up?
No, what?
So
To
basically,
China for
if
shopping.
you can fly, the trick is it's basically a 10-day layover. That's what they're calling it. So basically, you fly from LA or anywhere. You have to stop somewhere else in Asia before you come back to the United States. So you can't go from LA to Shanghai and Shanghai back. You can go from LA to Shanghai to Malaysia and back, or even Hong Kong and back.
Yeah, I was thinking Tokyo, but
Yeah.
sure.
So you can do that. And basically, my friend on the phone yesterday asked for some help. He's creating group trips
Shut up.
to China because the way it works, if you go to China, you buy things and you stay there for you, they'll help you ship it back, no tariff, and cheaper. So you can buy a restoration hardware couch, which costs $15,000 at restoration hardware. In China, costs you $1,000. Ship it for $1,000. Now you have a $12,000 couch for $2,000, and you vacation in China.
And a vacation in China. Again, it's the innovative piece of a
Mm-hmm.
complicated situation that I'm
Mm-hmm.
just really drawn in by. That's where really successful businesses are built, where they
Yep.
can solve those really bizarre problems fast. That's a whole different world if he's putting together trips. That's a
Yeah.
whole different world.
It's a different world. In fact, it's like people are afraid to travel. Not afraid to travel, but they're traveling to China is not like traveling to Orlando.
Sure.
So these trips are great because an American will go with you. You bounce around. You do your shopping with the agents there in China. They'll
Hmm.
ship it back for you, back to wherever you are. And next thing you have all these great things at a fraction of the cost,
Hmm.
and you it's had an experience buying it.
Hmm.
It's phenomenal.
Sounds fabulous, actually.
It
Especially if they
it
put a
really
little bit
does.
of sightseeing so it's balanced. That'd be
Hmm.
fabulous. Yeah.
Sightseeing, some food tasting, just
Hmm.
seeing some of the remarkable works of architecture there now,
Yeah.
and seeing the Great Wall is phenomenal. It's just the world's global, and I think that's something we need to do more of and figure out how we can do it, not easily, but integrate that with our normal workday. Is target a global audience.
Yeah, especially if the US is going to be going through its own kind of. I know if US has a recession, the rest of the world goes down, it dips down as well. But if but people here in the US are already starting to stay more cash fluent. So they're putting off buying. They're just keeping a little more cash on hand versus purchasing things or putting stuff off. It's already happening here when you're not dependent on a small, and I appreciate the market in the United States is 300 million, but globally speaking, that's still a small percentage of the world.
Yeah.
When
And
you expand, it changes things.
as more countries grow and become more, they have more money,
Yeah.
they can take away some of our buying power.
Yeah.
India wasn't India like it is now. China wasn't China like it is now.
Yeah.
That's a whole middle class audience that you can sell stuff to.
Yeah.
And the world's big. The world is big. I've traveled the world, haven't been around in a while, but it's remarkable that if you get out there, you see a lot. And for our businesses, I think we can sell a lot more. But we need to figure that out. We need to figure out how can we do that easy and not make a whole nother business out of it.
Easier.
Easier and not make a whole nother business out of it. 'Cause I think the Elevate University, you see a lot of this stuff here in the United States. Not Elevate, but a lot of courses and universities. You see a lot of it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of it, but you don't see that a lot. You don't see a lot of it in China or Thailand. You don't. But there's as those economies grow, more and more people will need that.
Yeah, that's actually was one of my on my last trip to France. That was one of the things that was rattling in my head. I'm like, there's so many of these shops that just rely on foot traffic still. Like it's astounding to me. That's great. That's worked for 300 or 400 years, so that's hard to argue with. However, again, you look at COVID or just in general, maybe a new something comes up a couple 100 miles away. You don't get the same kind of foot traffic every year or every summer. Things just shift, and there's no prep. There's no social media presence for a lot of that.
And I've seen a lot of this online as I'm doing my research. A lot of businesses that do post on social media,
Yeah.
they get a lot of people coming. They get a lot of people come to their store. Oh, I saw you on TikTok. I saw you on Facebook, especially when they travel because they Google a lot. Like, oh, I saw you on Reddit.
And so when you have no presence online, you miss out on that extra income. And I think that goes back to something we talk about a lot. There's people who just want to make it, which is fine and I have no issues with at all. And then there's those of us who are like, no, we want to be at the top. We want to be the next level. Next.
And for social media, you have to stay current because if someone finds your name, they go to your LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, excuse me, go to your Instagram or TikTok, and the last thing posted was 2024. I'm gonna assume you're closed down. I was gonna assume you're closed. So consistency of some sort, just as though people come there, okay, you're still open, you're still active. So consistency is important because again, don't post every year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And but I do find, especially Facebook pages tend to get abandoned.
I've abandoned dozens.
Yeah, no, I get it because it's hard to get the same kind of traction on Facebook. But what I tell people is one of two things. Either do an auto share over from when you post on Instagram or another site so
Hmm?
that you're keeping your post going even if you're not getting the traction
Yeah,
you want.
that's what I did.
Yeah, or delete the damn page if you're not going to use it.
Yeah,
Because people on Facebook are Facebook people. They do not make me go someplace else. So if they're
right.
searching for a bakery in their area, they're going to look on Facebook. So if they've got three bakeries that come up and one of them haven't posted in a year, they're going to one of the other two.
Correct.
Just how that's going to go.
The one who posted on Saturday about the great coffee that he's had was
Yeah.
obvious. You're
Even
100%
if
right.
it had one like on that post, it was a current post. Yeah.
Yep. And that can make it break a business, to be honest with you, because
100%.
being invisible, you're invisible. In today's world, social media is the easiest way possible to jumpstart a business.
And honestly, the least expensive. This whole
100%.
trying to hack Google and the algorithm and visibility there and SEO on your website. I'm not saying don't do those things, but that can't be where all of your eggs are. It is
No.
pricey. It takes months to get up and going, and it
Hmm.
shifts every year. So you're constantly messing with it. You need to have something that in the background is working for you versus you working on it.
And I saw earlier today in your TikTok live, which I was on, that someone brought up the point: should I spend money on a big website? Should I advertise on Facebook? And your answers are phenomenal, by the way. And just telling her, like, Facebook's expensive and it's not guaranteed. You have to let Facebook do its thing, and that costs you 3 to 4 thousand bucks
Yeah.
sometimes,
To
maybe
add,
less.
to optimize your ads. And it's so complicated. You generally, to be successful, need a Facebook ads manager. So you're paying them a retainer, plus you're putting a couple thousand into ad test. And
Yeah,
most of them want to test ads for 3 months before they'll
right.
guarantee any results. Not because they're some of them are trying to take you to the bank, but many of them are just because that's what it takes in Facebook's world to get the ad manager trained to the point and the page optimized and all the pieces. That's why I'm so big on doing as much organically as possible.
Yeah, and the organic is cheap. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, but yet it's cheaper,
But I also
and,
think it's more real
and it's
because
more real, and it's a better way to test.
it is a better way to test because I can put all the money I want behind an ad. I can be spending $1,000 a day on an ad on Facebook, but if people still hate it, they're still going to scroll by it and not buy the thing. But if I
Yeah,
have an organic video or post that people really respond to, and now I make that an ad, it's something people are already buying from.
correct,
It's going to increase the buying power of that piece of content.
correct. So we're
Yeah.
both going to start our new mini to millions
Many to millions. I'm
this week. I
excited.
guess you start yours this week.
Yeah, I want to do it this week. I'm just trying to finalize like who I know what I want to do. I want to finalize my target audience so I can make sure the pieces are really lined up for that person because that's one of the problems I have being in social media for so long, 17 damn years. I can do social media for any industry. I can do it for anybody at any starting out or they've been in it for 3 years or so I think I have to clarify my audience and then I can build out those pieces and launch hopefully by Friday.
A good audience that not say you should target, but someone should target eventually is we talked about this a while ago. People are getting laid off and look for new jobs. They're most people looking for a new job will find jobs way less than what they deserve.
Yeah,
So
in this market especially.
they should learn social media. They should
Yeah.
learn how to create something for themselves, even if it's just to escape for a minute. And Elevate University is something key, I believe, that we need to. I've been saying to you for years, we have to push that more and more
Yeah.
because it's needed more and more today.
I do think it is going to be really needed in 2025. And I always tell people, I'm like, I do better in downturns because people go, COVID, my phone was off the hook. That was the soonest thing shut down. It was about a week later. And my phone didn't stop ringing for 3 months because people are like, hey, you know that digital marketing stuff you've been talking about? I might need some. And it was just ridiculous. I'm like, I've been shaking y'all for years. And now suddenly you realize, this is the only way I can do anything right now. And it's similar for this moment in time. As you said, people are losing jobs. They're looking at starting something on the side. They need to get their personal brand up so they can, when
Hmm.
they're looking, right? They've got a really good showing of who they are and their expertise and that people are responding to them online. All of those be in place. And that's what I do.
Yeah. So I support Elevate University.
Thanks. I'm
I'm
excited to see yours too.
yeah.
Your mini launch.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the messaging. I'm excited for the content I want to create around it.
Yours is different because you're doing content all through AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm doing that for a couple of reasons which we discussed before. And the main reason is to stay consistent to put out the message with the look that I want. In a perfect world, in a perfect world, I would say here's the deal. Just that blueprint has a staff of 7, and I have 2 people involved in social media marketing, and one person is the host of all my stuff. In a
Like the
perfect world.
face of the brand, you mean?
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
the face of the brand, and one just basically the speaker. Like on Home Shopping Network, the hosts of the shows don't own the products.
Yeah.
And I will just that's how I would run it. But that will
Hmm.
cost me what, $500,000 a year immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm down 8, 9, 12, 15 grand a month. In lieu of that, I'll use AI until I get to a point where, you know what, I will hire someone to do this now, even to host my office hours. I'll go out there, find travel influencers, pay them X dollars per week to come host hours, and just give people what they want. Here you go. This is what you want. There you go.
Yeah. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, but that's how I would do it in a perfect world.
Yeah.
I hire the perfect person, the perfect look, the perfect everything. Go.
So
You know.
in the absence of that, you're going to go AI so you can
Yeah.
dial it in as close as possible.
And I realize that most people don't know something's AI unless they really look at it. If whatever the AI is saying is important and they're listening to it, it doesn't matter how it comes. I used to watch, excuse me, on YouTube, this AI generated crypto education thing. I don't know, this is like a year ago. And I watched them religiously. And it was
Hmm.
done in AI, just images and slides. They had hundreds of thousands of viewers. I'm like, if I get 10th of that, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think if it transforms somebody, it did its job.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Me sitting on there on live or whatever, me personally, I don't think it's great for my audience I'm trying to target. So this is better because it gives them what they're expecting.
I'm very curious to see how it goes since all of it is AI, all
Yeah,
different pieces.
you'll see it, and you see it probably. I'm gonna show some to you guys tonight at office hours. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm excited about the targeting and speaking slowly to a slower audience because targeting those specific people will be ideal. Because I want to do this, but I'm not scared anymore. Take away the fear from them.
Yeah.
I think your package you're doing is phenomenal because it's I can buy something off the shelf and now I have it
Starter kit, you
kind of
mean?
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes sense. Oh, boop, now I'm ready to go. Instead of okay, I gotta sit through this person talk for 30, 40 hours and then I gotta figure out what they said and now I gotta figure out what to do with what they said.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I want to make it something where they can just immediately start plugging it in.
And what's great about Elevate, sorry about pushing Elevate so much today, is that if you're confused on something, go to the office hours and ask everybody.
It makes me insane when they won't.
It doesn't. It's so. Oh, I have a question. Get it answered
Yeah.
by the person who made it for you.
There's zero gatekeeping in this space. Just come to office hours. That's why they are there, so that you can drop in. Because, and that's, again, when I started out, that's how programs were. You'd get just the pre recorded stuff. It was
Hmm.
okay. I took one that had decent, pretty good pre recorded stuff, but I couldn't figure out how to apply it to my thing, and there was no one to
Right.
ask. And I was going to have to pay thousands of dollars for that kind of coaching, group coaching, even. And I was like, I'm not playing with any of this. So, nope, got to trudge uphill by myself instead of wading through another pile of group coaching that's not going
Right.
to want. Where this, I really make sure that you guys have the answers.
Good. All right. So I think it's enough for today. We had 40 minutes in the books. Let's have a great week, and I'll see you in office hours tonight. And make sure everyone, by the way, is Elevate University. What's the domain name for that?
It's community.jasmine, or actually just go to jasminepartida.com and you'll get there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So go check that out, and we'll see you guys next week.